did was we said, remember sometimes when they gave you 2 points, just listen to me for a second. They gave you 2 points and they said, give me the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. So now we're giving you 3 points and we're saying, give me the equation of the parabola that passes through these 3 points, a quadratic. So we know our quadratic follows this format. We know that if these are x and y's, that if I replace the x and y, I still need to find an a, a b, and a c. So all we're doing is this. We're setting this up right here. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. We're listing our 3 points down. We're saying every x replace with a 0. Every y, well there's only one, y equals, put your y here. And then once we set this up, we're just simplifying it. So my x here and here, my y here. My x here and here, my y here. And then we simplify. Because we have 3 variables, we're going to get 3 points, 3 equations. So and then you just solve systems of equations. Now some are this nice that I'm able to take this and to get rid of my c. Then I therefore start with 2 equations and I need to eliminate one of those variables. So I chose to eliminate b and solve for a. You could choose to eliminate whatever you like and back substitute and find the other one. Once you find all of these, this is really important, and I'll bring this back up in a second. Just let me pull this down for a second. That you go back in and you put your equation in, because the problem will say, find the equation of. Now, with this, because this is already an equation in y equals, you can put this in your calculator, and you can actually check that all 3 of those points were in that graph. So, just as we found the equation when it passes through 2 lines, we can find the equation of the parabola going through 3 points using our y equals ax plus b, ax squared plus bx plus c format. Make sense? Yes.
So I can just cancel
The c, yeah, because that would be 0. I mean, they don't always work out that easily, but sometimes they don't work out too badly. So for those of you that were here, do you see what we're doing? Yes.
I had trouble with 79.
Okay.
I think I did something wrong, I'm not sure.
Okay, and sometimes it's hard. Just call me over, I'll take a look at it, or, try it again and see. So basically, you're using this setup, and you're replacing your x and your y, so that now you have 3 variables. And this 3 points will give you 3 equations.
Wait, I do, you see where it says A and B, like, dump down, right there. I do multiply it by -2.
I multiplied it by -2 so that I could cancel out the b's. I could have multiplied this by -4, canceled out the a's. Whatever you choose to do. Like, there's no set point. Obviously, you'll get rid of your c, so that will be gone. And either way you do it, make sure you back substitute. Make sure you build your equation. Because your goal is, your homework one probably says find the equation of, doesn't it? Does yours say find the equation of?
Hand sanitizer?
Find the equation of the parabola.
I touched something so nasty.
What was it?
I don't know.
I had hand sanitizer.
Probably right now.
Why don't you go to the bathroom and wash your hands?
You do?
Oh, you do? Good. And, it might have been somebody's drink. Where are you sitting here?
It was underneath the desk.
Oh, underneath the desk? Oh, that's gross. Oh, gross. Whenever I Google the desks to separate them or move them together or whatever, I'm always afraid to call them underneath the desk. All right. So again, this is working the same way. we're setting this up, y equal ax squared plus bx plus c. Since this is x and y, I find this the easiest way. List your three. I put x and y so that I remember where my x and y is. And I know it sounds silly, but the y goes here. There's the y. And the x goes two places. Now again, this is kind of nice. With c equal to 3, just put your 3 in both of those. And now you have two equations with two variables, and you eliminate one of those variables. If you get to here, another way to do this is to say, subtract 3 first. You could even solve for A or for B and substitute in. There's a number of ways to do this. I don't care which way you do it. I try not to do too much movement because then I always get somebody that says, you know, why'd you do that? Or, you know, do I have to do that? You don't have to do those. If you subtract 3 from this guy, look what's going to happen. You're going to get a 0 here. That's even nicer. If you do a substitution, that works out even nicer. I did elimination. Whatever you decide to do. At the end, make sure you take this and bring this back and build your equation. Your direction said find the equation of a parabola. Now, I'll put this in my y equal, and I'll make sure those 3 points are on my parabola. Make sense? Okay. This is easy, isn't it? That kind of does make sense. Okay. Can I go through? Copying. And again, if you get this far, this lends itself nicely to 1 minus a equals b. You can always substitute it into the other one. Take away your 3's. Substitute this in. And you can solve for a. There's a number of ways to do these. Whatever you see best. Again, you're going to back substitute, so make sure you back substitute to get your answers. This one probably required a little bit more work, because there was nothing that I could immediately just cancel out. So it required me to find A and B and to cancel out the same one. So I chose out of these two to eliminate C, and then out of these two to eliminate C. I chose C because they all had 1s as coefficients. And that's fine. You could choose these guys, right?
We don't have any eraser.
So you don't have to change the whole thing. You can eliminate something else first. What did you eliminate?
Try to do
B? Okay. So did it work for you or no?
no.
Okay. Let's do it. So the first two. So I've got to make these be the same multiple, different signs. So what'd you multiply the top one by?
-3.
-3. And the bottom one by?
4.
Well, you want it to be -6. You want this to be a 6.
That's 2.
2. So all the way across, 0, -12a, -6b, -3c. -2 equals 18a plus 6b plus 2c. Okay, so -2 equals 6a
minus C.
minus c. Now, That's it. Now do the other two. So, which other two? Maybe actually 1 and 3 are better to use,
That's
right?
what I tried the first time.
Okay, so want to do 1 and 3?
Yeah.
And eliminate the same thing? So I'm sorry, I'm going to have to come over here. But 0 is equal to 4a plus 2b plus c. 0 is equal to 16a plus 4b plus c. No, we got to eliminate b. And so negative 2. Good. So I'm going to just bring this one underneath. 0 is equal to negative 8a minus 4b minus 2c. 8a, b's are gone, minus c. This is b. Now, when I bring these back together, this is a and this is b. It's not looking too bad, right? What do you want to eliminate? C. Okay, so which one would you like to multiply by a negative 1? The top one. Let's get rid of that negative 2 out there. And C is gone. So A is equal to 1. Back substitute into either one of those. Whatever one looks nicer for you.
Why can't you multiply negative 2 by 0? No, the bottom. That equation.
Negative 2 by 0? 0.
Oh, no, what?
Good?
Yeah.
Good?
No. Yeah. Okay, I'm up until negative 2 equals 6a minus 1c.
Okay, so we multiplied that by a negative 1.
Well, not minus 4c for 8a minus.
Oh, you got 4c.
4c.
For this one, which was this guy.
1 and 3, yeah.
So when you multiplied this by a negative 2, right here, this came out to be negative c.
Oh. Okay.
Okay? And then just back substitute. So it doesn't have a standard way you have to do it. Whatever way looks best for you. I usually try not to use the higher numbers if I don't have to, because that means I have to pick up my calculator. So the rest you could probably do in your head without having to pick up your calculator. And the nice part about this, the beauty about this, is when you get your answer, put this in your calculator, and make sure that those 3 points are sitting there in your table. And you know you found your answer. Okay? This one, it's kind of all over the place here. I don't know why. So this one, we substituted in again. Use your y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. If on your test, guys, I'll write that on your test for this or for a circle. I mean, that one you should know, but just in case to help you remember it, I'll write it on your test. I think the fact that you're doing this is commendable, that you're, pre-calc regulars and you're doing curve fitting. That's good. And the reason why I didn't do it one year, but then I decided, I saw different college ones that kids were doing this in college with matrices, and they do a lot of work with matrices, and you can do this on a matrix. So I decided to put this back in here. It's not that hard. Sometimes it's a little tedious, but not that hard. And I know you guys hate fractions at this point. At this point, when you get this one down here that has a fraction in it, get your common denominator 4. Just multiply everybody by 4. Get rid of your fraction. Just get rid of the fraction. I'm allowed to divide a whole equation. I'm allowed to multiply a whole equation. As long as I have an equal sign, I could do it across the board. So then I started with these guys. And I chose to eliminate b's, only because my b's, I could have did my a squares. Well, what do I have a squares? Why did I have a squares here? Don't ask me why those are there. Huh. I wrote it over and I must have come over all wrong. There's no a squares here. All of them. Somehow I dropped them when I got down here finally. But when you do this, You could eliminate the a's. They work kind of nicely by multiplying this by -4, this by -4. You could eliminate the b's. Multiply this guy by 2, eliminate these. These guys will already eliminate. You know, whichever one you see, that works for you. Somehow over the years, I always find like certain kids always eliminate A and B and C. They like to be in a certain order. Or they get rid of C first, A first. Is somebody's phone I keep hearing? All right. And then there's your final answer. Okay? The circle? How'd you do with the circle? The circle one we did for you guys that were in here off of this format. And I will give you this format. This is the format of a circle before we actually complete the square. This is the standard format of a circle. So when we do this, this is your x, this is your y. So this becomes x squared plus y squared plus dx plus ey plus f equal 0. You're going to just put your x and your y's in here. Here, this is x, this is x, this is y, this is y. And then they reduce down. They look horrible when you first look at it, like they're so long. But as soon as you break them down, there's only 3 variables, d, e, f. Instead of a, b, c, there's d, e, f. And this one was kind of nice. This let us take out the f of 0. And then we had, this equation was nice, because I think one of them came out. This one came, the e came out also. The e came out of this as well. And the f. So I took this one first, solved for d, and then back substituted it into this one. Don't forget, you're finding an equation. So once you find your DEF, just go plug it back into that format. I'm not asking you to complete the square, but just plug it back in. It's a little harder to check because you really can't check it on your calculator unless you do a y equals and then take the square root of those y squares, which you can. You can do a half a circle and then another half a circle because this one doesn't have another y. And I find with the circles, if you think about your circles, even if I gave you a circle of, like yesterday that has a 0, 0 and a radius of 3, there's not a lot of points that this can pass through over here. So that's why you're ending up with a lot of quadrant points. 0, 0, 5. You're going to see most of those. Yeah? Okay. Is the last one? Nope. This also wasn't bad. This wasn't bad either. Again, set it up. X squared plus y squared plus dx plus dy plus f equals 0. Don't forget the equal 0 or you won't have an equation. And again, the f kind of came out. This wasn't bad to work with. This one just had an e here. So I took this one first and back substituted. So even the circles look messier, they're usually easier because of the way the zeros are in there. So if I actually completed the square, I would be able to see my circle that had a center and it ended up on those points. Good? You guys that weren't here, how did it seem? Not so bad? Okay, and let me just scroll to the last one. This one probably had the most work to it. Was this the one you had trouble with, Alicia?
No, but
Oh, you're okay? Okay. This one probably had the most busy work in here. We separated it all out, and you're left with these three equations. But F didn't cancel out, so you're left with three equations. So combine it. I eliminated F first because all my F's were just ones. So I just chose to get rid of the ones first, the F's first. Then combine these two, and then I eliminated the E. And you can choose to do whatever you like with that. Let me just stuff this so that you can see it a little bit better in here. Okay? And brought it back to an equation. A and Z. Let X equal what?
0.07.
The amount at 0.07. Y equal the amount at, and Z equals the amount at. So, all her three investments, this is what she's investing right here. We don't know what they are. They're X, Y, and Z. They total. So, where's my equation?
I do it once.
Equals 70,000. Now, we know she isn't going to make that much interest. That's what she invests. Now, let's see if there's anything else. So, they earn these, da-da-da-da. The total income from these investments is
So
$6,900.
0.07x
0.07x.
plus 0.09y
Good.
plus 0.11z equals 6,900.
Equals 6,900. That's her interest earned. If you invested $100 at 10%, your interest earned is 100 times 0.10, $10. So since she has these in three separate accounts, we have to take the interest for each one of those and combine them together. So now we have two. So I look a little further. The income from the 11%, which variable did we use for 11? Z exceeds. What does exceeds mean?
Means it's more than.
It means it's more than the total income from the other two. What are the other two?
0.7x and 0.
But just the investment, X and Y. So it means the income from the 11%, I'm not going to put the numbers in there yet. I just wanted the variables in there. By 1900. Now, income don't we have to multiply by its percent? Let's just go throw its percent in here. 11.07, 0.09. Okay? Now what am I doing with this 1900?
It's gonna add to the x and y because it's more than.
Okay, good. The 11% exceeded that total by 1900. It means even when you add the X and Y incomes together, they're still 1900 short.
Yeah.
So you have two choices. You could either add it to the X and Y, or you can subtract it from the Z. So since Monasia came up with this, we're going to add it to the X and the Y. Plus 1900. This makes it balanced. This exceeded this. We could have just subtracted it from there and left that one. So now do you have three equations?
Yeah.
So you're going to work this out tonight. Okay, let's set up one more for you. Let's work together and set these up. Bart has three investments. So what are our last statements going to be? X, Y, and Z again, right? The three amounts. The amount at, what's the percentages? 5. There you go. Oh, there's three investments total. So where's my statement?
X plus y plus z equals 9.
Good. X plus y plus z equals 90,000. I got three variables. I got one equation. How many more do I need? Two more. Good. So Oh, these investments earn income from this. His total income from these investments is $6,700. So how do I write that statement? Good.
And 0.075, 0.09Z equals 67.
Very good. Equals 6,700. Okay, I got to get one more. The income from, what is the 9? Z, let's just use the variables first. Exceeds, oh, this is just like the other one, right? The total from the other two. The other two were x plus y. And we agreed that since they exceeded, we were going to add the 500 to that side. So we're going to put an equal. Now, since it's income, what do we have to multiply those by? The 0.5 here for the x, the 0.7, the 0.9. So you get 0.09z equals 0.05x plus 0.07y plus the 500.
So whenever you see the income from the percentage is the number and the x, and
Yes.
when it's just
The investment
is just
the x. So think of it as if you took $300 and you invested it into 3 different percentages. You're dispersing your $300. Like maybe 100, 100, 100. You add them together to get your 300. That's the money you're investing.
Yeah.
The income that you earn is not $300 back. It's 300 times whatever that interest was. 100 there. 100 times whatever that interest was, and 100 times whatever that interest was. And yes.
For this one, can I keep this thing? Like if I'm trying to get rid of one, I would change the C to.
Oh, you put in the negative one? No, you can leave that there. That's good.
So I
You're just worried about the
so I cross these out.
but did you multiply this by
Yeah. So
by
I
negative 2?
yeah, so then I put it down here. And it's plus 2.
So now, but when you add these together,
Also, I would still do
yeah,
that.
you still have to add it together.
There's more.
Yes.
Do I substitute or do I solve?
For the